The film opens with a thrilling dance performance in Budapest, where hitman Joe Flood silently infiltrates the venue. Moving through the shadows, he takes out several guards and closes in on his target seated on the balcony. The man offers to pay Joe triple the amount if he cooperates, but Joe remains unfazed and flatly refuses. The target begs for a moment to finish watching the performance, but Joe quickly shoots him in the head and tells his female partner to leave. Chaos ensues as more guards rush out, forcing Joe into a deadly gunfight. As gunfire sparks panic among the crowd, everyone scrambles for safety. Amid the mayhem, Joe spots a dancer named Maze who has fallen. He swiftly helps her to safety. She attempts to express her gratitude, but Joe is suddenly struck by a headache and departs before she can assist him. Then Joe heads to the clinic to undergo tests, hoping to find the cause of his relentless headaches. After reviewing the results, the doctor advises Joe to embrace a healthier lifestyle, recommending good food. Dr. Kagan also tells him that his head scanning test report will come in a few days. After that, Joe leaves and meets with his close friend Zvi, admitting that he's beginning to question why he continues doing what he does. Later, Joe visits a dance studio where Maze, the dancer he saved, has her classes. He's there to return something, but Maze, clearly intrigued by him after the rescue, seizes the moment and offers him her number, suggesting dinner sometime. At first, Joe tosses Maze's number into the bin, but he soon acknowledges his feelings for Maze and chooses to pursue the opportunity. The next day, Joe and Maze share a dinner together, during which she expresses her passion for dancing and her dream of starting a dance school. Joe mentions that he is involved in retirement planning. As they continue to see each other, their relationship deepens, and Joe finds himself truly in love with Maze. Unfortunately, his life takes a tragic turn when he receives test results from his doctor, Kagan, who informs him that he has Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, a serious brain disorder that will lead to the loss of his motor skills, leaving him with only about 3 months to live. Fearing for Maze's future, Joe approaches Zvi with a desperate plan. He asks him to put out a contract on his own life so Maze can collect life insurance after his death. However, Zvi, caring deeply for Joe, refuses to go through with it. Left with no other option, Joe then turns to Antoinette, a skilled assassin who now manages contracts for hitmen. Their history is complicated. Joe once killed her father, who had also been his mentor, leaving Antoinette with a personal vendetta against him. Joe requests that she place a $2 million bounty on his head, effective at midnight. Antoinette, seizing the opportunity for revenge, eagerly agrees and sends out the hit. She first contacts a veteran hitman named Lovedoll, but he declines, claiming $2 million isn't worth the job. Undeterred, Antoinette reaches out to other killers, a deadly Korean assassin named Goyang and his crew, along with a pair of Hungarian brothers who are known for always working together. The hunt for Joe begins. Later, Joe decides to meet Maze to end their relationship, trying to create a reason for her to dislike him, which he thinks will make it easier for him when he's gone. After their meeting, he returns home and drinks heavily, leaving Maze a heartfelt voice message where he shares his diagnosis and expresses his true feelings for her. Shortly after, Dr. Kagan calls Joe with urgent news, revealing that his test results were mixed up with other patient and that he is definitely not ill. Joe then glances at the clock and realizes he is in a difficult situation as the bounty is started. Goyang and his crew storm Joe's apartment, ready to take him out. A brutal showdown ensues as Joe fights back fiercely, taking down each assassin one by one with precision and skill. The tension mounts until he finally traps Goyang, driving one of their weapons into his head with deadly force. As the battle rages on, the last assassin approaches, but Joe anticipates her move and triggers a booby trap. A massive explosion erupts, sending her flying out of the window in a spectacular finish. Just when he thinks he's safe, the Hungarian brothers roar up on their motorcycles, ready for revenge. Joe, undeterred, swiftly smashes one brother's skull beneath his boot and sends the other flying with a powerful kick. In the aftermath, Joe frantically calls Antoinette to cancel the hit, hoping to put an end to the chaos. But to his shock, she refuses, even doubling the bounty to ensure he meets his end. Joe realizes that escaping his fate will be harder than he thought. True to her word, Antoinette reaches out to every available hitman across Europe to put a permanent end to Joe. With the price now doubled, seasoned hitman Lovedoll joins the hunt, reluctantly teaming up with an inept British assassin named Money, whose bumbling antics only complicate matters. Meanwhile, the Scottish brothers Angus and Rory Mackenzie, fueled by a few drinks, enthusiastically accept the contract, eager for the thrill of the chase. On the other side of town, British strippers Ginny and Tanya, known as the Party Girls, skillfully eliminate their targets before setting their sights on Joe. Lastly, a dancing assassin named Botas enters the fray. Maze is at the bar, still sad about the breakup. She then receives a voicemail from Joe, urgently instructing her not to return to her apartment. Meanwhile, Antoinette learns about Joe's girlfriend and orders Lovedoll to take her hostage using Maze as leverage against him. At the same time, Joe seeks assistance from Zvi and his wife. She provides him with a massage that effectively relieves his headaches and improves his vision, addressing the physical pain he was experiencing. After feeling better, Joe teams up with Zvi to head to a nearby castle, where they plan to set traps and draw the other assassins in, aiming to eliminate them all at once. As Maze prepares to leave her apartment, she steps outside only to find Lovedoll and Money waiting for her. When they confront her, she doesn't hesitate. She delivers a swift kick to Money's groin, sending him reeling. But before she can make her escape, Lovedoll knocks her out cold and takes her captive. The Mackenzie brothers are the first to reach the castle to face Joe, brimming with confidence as they seek to confront Joe. But as they charge in, Joe steps out to face them head-on. He quickly activates a booby trap, sending Angus flying into the antlers of a deer head, where he becomes impaled. Joe then stabs Rory in the neck, taking him out. Just then, the party girls arrive, guns drawn and ready to fire. Joe cleverly causes Ginny to stumble into another trap. Once she's down, he yanks a pin from her grenade belt and tosses her toward Tanya, triggering an explosion that takes them both out. Finally, Botas then tries to kill Joe, but Joe detonates a C4 explosive, obliterating Botas. Lovedoll contacts Joe using Maze's phone, informing him that she has been taken and directing him to a meeting spot. Meanwhile, Maze cleverly persuades Money to let her out of the car for a moment to stretch her legs. Once free, she swiftly knocks him out with a blow to the head. When Joe arrives at the cemetery where Maze is held, she seizes the opportunity, takes the car, and runs into Lovedoll. Just as they're about to escape together, a hit squad led by Antoinette's right-hand man Radovan arrives and opens fire. Radovan boasts that he managed to get a shot in, but Lovedoll is furious at Antoinette for sending them, arguing that they're already on the payroll. He demands she increase the contract to $6 million, only to be informed later that she flatly refused. As they make their escape, Joe confesses the truth about his life as an assassin to Maze, revealing that he was misdiagnosed and expressing his desire to leave that world behind for her. In response, Maisie shares that she is pregnant and cannot imagine raising a child with someone who kills for a living. Suddenly, she begins to faint because she was shot in the shoulder by one of Radovan's bullets. Meanwhile, Lovedoll grows increasingly frustrated with Money's incompetence and decides to ditch him, realizing he's more of a liability than an asset in this chaotic situation. Joe takes Maze to a church seeking safety and to care for her injury. The priest offers them refuge, and once Maze regains consciousness, Joe asks her to marry him and she agrees. The priest, though surprised by their lack of preparation, agrees to perform the ceremony, but first Joe must confess his sins. The priest is shocked to learn about Joe's violent past, yet he chooses to proceed with the wedding to help them escape the situation. Just then, Radovan and his men arrive, and during the chaos, the priest is shot in the shoulder but survives. Joe manages to take down most of Radovan's crew and traps Lovedoll under some scaffolding. As Radovan confronts Joe with the intent to kill him, Maze, in a moment of panic, shoots Radovan, which horrifies her. Joe then leads Maze out of the church, leaving Lovedoll behind, who is also unharmed. Antoinette tries to leave town after discovering that Joe has killed everyone she sent. However, Zvi catches her first and reminds her that she violated the rules of the game by sending a group of mercenaries during an open contract, which disrespected the agreement among assassins. Zvi then shoots Antoinette in the head. Later, Joe and Maze have a real wedding with their friends, including a priest present. Joe vows to retire from being an assassin, but Maze thinks about the high cost of raising a child and suggests that he might not want to give it up completely. In this way, movie ends here. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more interesting movie recaps.